All right, we've got Pirates of the Caribbean, we've got Haunted Mansion, we've got Tomorrowland, now we've got Jungle Cruise, and my only question is, when are you going to give the people what they want? When are you going to give us a rock and roller coaster ride? The people want it. Aerosmith wants it. Make it happen, Disney. So we have Jungle Cruise. This is the latest attempt to take a well-known Disney attraction and give it some of that Pirates of the Caribbean love and hope that it spawns a very successful franchise. This has worked once, and that was Pirates of the Caribbean. What is Jungle Cruise, you ask? Jungle Cruise, if you've never ridden the ride, it is a water ride where people get on a boat and you're given a tour of a jungle, pretty much. And your skipper just is making dad jokes the whole time. It's awesome. But also, not like the go-to ride you would think of when you think that should be a huge blockbuster. But you could say the same thing about Pirates of the Caribbean. Jungle Cruise, the movie, on the other hand, is kind of about that, but mix in some like magic and some myths and curses and some action. We have Emily Blunt. It's hard to say what exactly she is in this. Her father was someone who was very into this legend of the Tears of the Moon. It's this special flower that can grant people eternal life, or heal people, or fix people's souls. And she wants to go after it. And then you have Dwayne Johnson, formerly known as The Rock. He is your Jungle Cruise skipper. He is the person that's telling the dad jokes. He is based in the Amazon, and he is giving these cruises to people, these tours, and he's kind of like this phony. He's setting up these goofy booby traps, or he is paying the locals to help him with scaring people, making it more adventurous. He has a pet jaguar that he uses to get people onto the boat. So yeah, he's a fun. He's The Rock on a boat. She pays him to take her to this kind of legend that no one really knows if it's real. No one's seen it in centuries, and yeah, an adventure ensues. So is this movie good? It's okay. It is okay. It's perfectly fine. It's fun. Like I said, Dwayne Johnson is super charismatic. Emily Blunt is fantastic. She always is, and the two of them together are a lot of fun. And just some of the other side characters. You got Jesse Plemons, who shows up as a German prince. So that's kind of goofy and weird. And you got Paul Giamatti, who pops in there a little bit as like this kind of entrepreneur who Dwayne's character owes money to. There's some gnarly looking effects with some of these conquistadors who have become trapped by the jungle, and so they're all snakes and like bees and water and mud. So that's kind of fun. Honestly, that's really about it for this movie. It's just fun, and you can see that it is like, if I had to compare it to two things, it's like they took Pirates of the Caribbean and we said, let's try to recreate this, but let's also get some Mummy in there. Because there are things that you're like, that's the Mummy. That's the Mummy. That's the Mummy. That's Pirates of the Caribbean 2. That's more Mummy. And, oh, hey, there's some more Pirates of the Caribbean. I can see where maybe with some changes, this becomes like a fun Romancing the Stone, Pirates of the Caribbean Mummy-esque franchise, and it just needs some work. It needs something special about it, and this first one just didn't do it. Two weird things. There's so much CGI in this movie. And again, if that's not like, if you're cool with that, that's cool. But there's just so much in there. There's a moment where The Rock is throwing a rope around a pier, a dock thing, and that rope is CGI, and you can tell, and it's just jarring, and you're like, why is that CGI? Especially in a movie where later there's a set piece where they're underwater, and a lot of that is shot practically. It's just so much CGI, and you're like, nothing seems real. This is such a dumb complaint. My other complaint is, it's not even a complaint. There's this weird version of Nothing Else Matters by Metallica that they use in the opening, and they also use in like a flashback scene. It's so weird, and there's no like connection or explanation to it that you're like, why? I would give this like a 6 out of 10. It's perfectly fine. It's, like I said, serviceable. It's fun. It's long, but that's okay. It's a nice way to kill 2.5 hours. I'm coming at this as someone who's ridden the ride and who loves Disney World. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little biased that I know I see the connections to the ride, and maybe others won't. And I don't know. It's just a weird decision to make this movie. I'm still just waiting for a solid Haunted Mansion movie. That's all I want. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot the Country Bears.
Un esercito di prodi